In the last few years, loneliness has been reported at unprecedented levels, especially in youth. With an incredible need for friendship in this technologically advanced world, it is important to understand that modern video games can offer the public an outlet to stay connected, even during these alienating times.
In order to form a meaningful connection, you need 4 variables present. We need to make sure that we have proximity, closeness to each other, frequency, we meet frequently, duration, that there's length to when we meet each other, but the 4th and most important ingredient is intensity. For example, sharing of secrets or hopes and fears. We accelerate the length of time it seems to take to form a meaningful social connection.
I'm brought up in a time where arcades are pretty big. Arcade kind of took it into way more of a public setting, and it allowed us to start to form really meaningful relationships. Online gaming is in many ways bringing us back to the old arcade days, where games became a lot about playing together and competing together and achieving common goals together. So in many ways, it's almost like a full circle when it comes to online gaming and how that has changed the gaming world.
In a time of increasing loneliness and social isolation, coupled with the rise of video games as culture shapers, video games are truly contributing to human connections. They are quickly becoming the biggest and needed culture shapers and connection machines on the planet.
Video games are increasingly reaching different audiences. The average age of a lot of video games is rising rapidly, and video games are now being played across all continents. One of the more critical challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic was increased social isolation. It was interesting to see that the World Health Organization issued a statement saying that video games actually might be a useful tool in combating loneliness, social isolation, and hundreds of millions of people ended up playing video games during COVID pandemic, and that hopefully reduced symptoms of loneliness, which can be extremely unhealthy.
CCP Games apply the formula for friendship in their Sci-Fi MMORPG EVEOnline, which enables players to forge meaningful relationships and develop lifelong skills. Through their research, observation, and interviews, EVEOnline excels at creating intense friendship bonding moments in-game that accelerate friendship formation.
CCP was founded in 1997 here in Reykjavik, Iceland. From the beginning, the mission has been to create virtual worlds more meaningful than real life.
So EVEOnline is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, or MMORPG, set 21,000 years in the future, where people fight over space and resources with massive, beautiful spaceships. These conflicts that happen in EVEOnline, they're quite hard to just do by yourself, so people feel quite incentivized to group together into corporations and alliances. In many ways, EVEOnline is this massive social construct that creates this beautiful political poetry and is probably the closest thing to an art that a game can be.
EVEOnline allows us to witness the evolution of friendship in real time and extrapolate key learnings about the connective tissue that brings us all together. CCP Games believes that through their video games, players can forge meaningful relationships, receive emotional support, learn new skills, and expand their careers.
So because of the social nature of EVE, really strong relationships are formed. And it's always really beautiful and humbling when you meet people at player gatherings that have, not only formed strong friendships, but deeper relationships. And I always get a little teary-eyed when I meet people that have found love and even had children because of EVEOnline. So we've been actively developing EVEOnline for over 18 years now. And throughout that time, we've learned a lot about the game. This was a very faith-driven development, so we believed that we knew exactly what our players wanted and what they needed. But oftentimes it's good to get outside view into what you're doing. So we've collaborated a lot with both universities here in Iceland and abroad, and with other companies, in the hopes of making the industry better and ultimately making the world a better place.
CCP and with EVEOnline will continue to craft in-game and out-of-game experiences to continue building communities. People are finding more reasons and more need to connect and create relationships with other people around the world.
To learn more, contact us today.